compounds. So usually the naming of organic compound can be given by two systems. One is a common system, and then the names which are given by the common systems now we are calling as common names. For giving the common names there was no systematic rules, simply based upon the source from where they get and the person who discovered, the place where they discovered, so based upon other factors they simply give the common names. Okay, so this is a old system, okay, old names. So nowadays we are using some compounds, their common names itself. Okay, anyhow, next one, IUPAC system. The second one, that is what? IUPAC system. And the names which are given by the IUPAC system called IUPAC names, and these names are based upon their structures. Okay, structural based names. Okay, these names given by following some rules. There is a systematic rules for giving an IUPAC name. Okay, now in this video we are going to discuss, okay, IUPAC system, IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, so if you take any IUPAC name, okay, the skeleton of IUPAC nomenclature is, this is the skeleton, prefix followed by the root word following suffix. Okay, this is the main skeleton for any compound, IUPAC name of any compound. Prefix. Yes, prefix are again of two types. One is primary prefix, second one is secondary prefix. Same as like prefix, suffix is also of two types. Primary suffix, secondary suffix. Okay, now let us discuss what is primary prefix. Primary prefix. So this is the systematic name. First primary prefix. After primary prefix, next secondary prefix. Thereafter root word. Okay, thereafter primary suffix. Thereafter secondary suffix. This is the systematic way of giving the names. Okay, now what is a primary prefix? Primary prefix tells us, gives us about the nature of the carbon chain. Okay, so primary prefix tells us about, it gives about nature of carbon chain. Nature of carbon chain means, that means either it may be a open chain or closed chain. If it is a open chain, then there was no primary prefix. If it is open, there was no primary prefix. If it is closed, then only we should use either cyclo or spiro or bicyclo, like this words as primary prefixes. Understood? So the primary prefix uses information about the nature of the carbon chains. If it is open chain, there was no primary prefix, no need to write the primary prefix. If it is closed, then only we should write either cyclo or spiro or bicyclo. We will discuss what is spiro, what is bicyclo, we will discuss. Okay, just remember these are the words we are using as the primary prefixes for closure. Next one, secondary prefix. What the secondary prefix indicates? The secondary prefix indicates the substituents attached to parent chain. The substituents attached to parent chain is indicated by what? Secondary prefixes. Okay, for example, what are the substituents? For example, R group. Any R group we call them as what? Alkyl. Alkyl, methyl, propyl, butyl, N-butyl, like this. Alkyl. Next one, OH group is present, then hydroxy. Next, NO2 group is there, then nitro. And halogens are attached, then halo, like this. These are the some substituents generally present. Okay, so the substituents are represented by what? Secondary prefixes. Clear? Then root word. What the root word indicates? The root word indicates the total number of carbon atoms present in the parent chain, main chain. Root word indicates, the root word indicates the number of carbon atoms present in parent chain. That number we represented by root word. There was a different root words. Suppose if the number of carbons is 1, what is the root word? Meth. 2, eth. 3, prop. 4, but. 5, pent. 6, hex. 7, hept or sept. 8, oct. 9, non. 10, dec. So these are the root words we are going to use. Clear? Next one, coming to the suffixes. In that suffixes, the first one is what? Primary suffix. What the primary suffix indicates? The primary suffix indicates the nature of carbon bonds. Okay, nature of the carbon bonds. Suppose if it is CC single bonds, okay, then that is AN is a primary suffix. If it is a double bond, EN, triple bond, IN. Okay, here one point we should remember. Suppose if there was only one double bond or one triple bond, EN, IN, okay, fine. If there was more than one double bond or triple bond that present, then suppose if there was a two double bonds like this, two double bonds. So presence of multiple double bonds or triple bonds. See, in this case, what happened? The root word also there was some modifications in the root word. Okay, so in case of presence of multiple double bonds, the root word will change. Suppose here 4 carbons are there. If the number of carbons are 4, what is the general root word? But. But in case of presence of multiple bonds, the root words are changed to buta. A was added additionally, buta, and the suffix will be diene. Why? Because how many double bonds are there? 2 double bonds are there. So diene, and we should mention the positions of them also. What positions? 1 and 3. 1, 3. 1, 3. Butadiene. Understood, money? So in case of presence of multiple double bonds or triple bonds, there was a small modifications in the root words. So what is that? Alk. Alk becomes what? Alka. A was added in additional. Okay. So this is what. And again, based upon the number of times that double bond and triple bond was repeated. So based upon that, if it is 2 times, di, 3 times, tri, 4 times, tetra, like this we should mention. Okay, so this is about the primary suffix. It indicates what? It represents nature of carbon bonds, type of the bonds. Next, secondary suffix. Secondary suffix. The secondary suffix indicates the functional group present on it. Functional groups, main functional group. If there was a functional group, then only secondary suffix will be. If there was no functional group, no secondary suffix. Yes, what are the functional groups and their secondary suffixes we are going to use? Let us see. Suppose in case of alcohols, its secondary suffix is what? Ol, OL. In case of carboxylic acids, oic acid. In case of esters, okay, the secondary suffix is O8. In case of amides, amide, what is the secondary suffix? Amide. In case of aldehydes, Al, alkanal. In case of ketones, on, not one, on. Okay, so in case of double bonds, triple bonds, there was no names. Okay, and in case of cyanides, secondary suffix is nitrile. Okay, so like this, there was some functional groups and their secondary suffixes. Okay, so this is about the skeleton of IUPAC name. For any compound following skeleton is there. Prefix, root word, suffix. In prefix again primary, secondary, suffix again of primary and secondary suffixes. Okay. Now let us go ahead. Now I am going to give you the compounds, their IUPAC name, skeleton of IUPAC name. Okay. The first one, alkanes. Alkanes, and their functional group also I am writing. That is CC single bonds are present. Then what we call them as alkanes. And their IUPAC name is also same, alkane, and there was no common name. Next one, alkene, C double bond C, we call it as alkenes. So IUPAC name is alk plus ene, alkene, no problem. Next one, alkynes, that is C triple bond C, and alkyne is only the IUPAC name for this. First three is common, okay, no problem. Now from here, next one, alcohols. If you take alcohols, alcohols, what is the functional group of alcohols? ROH, ROH. Alcohols, the functional chemical formula is ROH, and its IUPAC name is alcohol, sorry, alkanol, alkanol. So how you will write this one? First you write alkane plus, and suffix is what? OL, and remove E. In the place of E you add OL. Alkanol, methanol, ethanol, propanol, butanol, like this. So alkanol is the IUPAC name of alcohols. Okay, and it's a common names. If you want, you can write, no problem. Common name of alcohols: alkyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, like that. Next one, carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids, RCOOH. And what is the IUPAC name of the carboxylic acids? Alkanoic acid. Alkanoic acid. So how you have written? First you write the corresponding alkane and its suffix oic acid. You remove E, and in the place of E add oic acid. Alkanoic acid. And what about the common name of this one? That is alkyl carboxylic acid. Alkyl carboxylic acid is the common name for the carboxylic acids. Next one, sulfonic acids. That is RSO3H, sulfonic acids. So IUPAC name is alkane sulfonic acid. Remove E. There was no common name to these compounds. Next, esters. Esters. So the formula is RCOOR. Okay. So the IUPAC name is, so whatever the R prime, this group we should write first. That is alkyl, and the remaining group is alkanoate. Alkyl alkanoate. Alkyl alkanoate is the IUPAC name of esters. Next one, aldehydes. That is RC double bond OH, and IUPAC name is alkanal. Alkanal. And ketones, if you take RC double bond OR. Okay, so what is the IUPAC name? Alkanone. Alkanone. Next, after the ketones, cyanides. Cyanides, if you take RCN. Yes, what is the IUPAC name? Alkane nitrile. Alkane nitrile, and its common name is alkyl cyanide. Common name is alkyl cyanide. Next one, amines. If you take amines, again in case of amines, this is primary amines based upon the number of hydrogens replaced by the halogen or this alkyl group, primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amines. So in case of primary amines, what is the IUPAC name? Alkanamine. Alkanamine is the IUPAC name of primary amines. For secondary amines, N-alkyl and the remaining group is alkanamine. N-alkyl alkanamine. So N-alkyl alkanamine. Next, for tertiary amines, N comma N, how many alkyl groups are there? 2 are there. So NN dialkyl alkanamine. So these are the some compounds whose functional groups and their IUPAC names. So in the category wise, let us discuss the first one, IUPAC nomenclature of straight chain hydrocarbons. Straight chain hydrocarbons. In case of straight chain hydrocarbons, there was no branches at all. So directly, if there was no branches or if there was no substituents, then what? The name will starts with root word. So for straight chain hydrocarbons, the name starts with the root word followed by primary suffix. Okay, methane, ethane, propane, butane, like this. In case of straight chain hydrocarbons, directly the name will starts with the root word and suffix, primary suffix. The second category, branched chain hydrocarbons. Branched chain hydrocarbons. Here there were some branches. In case of branches, if there was a branches or substituents, definitely there should be a prefix. So definitely there should be a secondary prefix. Why not primary prefix? Why? Because primary prefix indicates whether it is a cyclic or open. We are discussing branched chain hydrocarbons. That is why primary prefix it will not be. Secondary prefix. The secondary prefix follows root word. After root word, primary suffix. Why not secondary suffix? Secondary suffix indicates functional groups. Here there was no functional group. We are discussing only hydrocarbon. That is why this is a skeleton for branched chain hydrocarbons. Secondary prefix, root word and primary suffix. And while you are giving the name to this branched chain hydrocarbons, we should follow few rules. What is that? The first one is longest chain rule. Longest chain rule. According to this rule, the chain which is having, the carbon chain having large number of carbons, we should consider as what? Parent chain. Okay, and the remaining all we should consider as what? Branches. Branches means substituents. This is the longest chain rule. Next, the next one, lowest number rule. Lowest number rule. According to this number rule, after we differentiate the longest chain and parent chain from the substituents, then we should immediately give the numbers. In case when you are giving the numbering, you can start giving the numbering from left to right or right to left. Okay, so according to this lowest number rule, okay, the carbons where the substituents are present, those carbons should get the least number. Okay, the carbons having substituents should have least number. That is what we call as lowest number rule. Suppose if the compound having only one substituent, okay, from which direction that carbon getting least value, that is the right way. For example, C. So like this it is there. Numbering giving from left to right, third carbon having the substituent. Right to left, second carbon. So definitely we should give the numbering from right to left. In case of one substituents, if it is more than one substituents, like this. Here how many substituents are there? 1 and 2. 2 substituents are there. Give the numbering from left to right. Third carbon, fourth carbon. 3 plus 4, 7. Right to left, 2 plus 3, 5. So least value, right to left. So definitely the numbering should be from right to left, like this. So in case of mono substituents, check the number of the carbon where the substituent is present, in which direction it is getting the least value, that is the right direction. In case of polysubstituents, okay, you check the sum of those locants, okay, from which direction we are getting the least sum value, that is the right direction. So this is according to lowest number. After we give the successfully the numbering, okay, then we should name the compound by starting with what? Prefixes. Okay, suppose if there was only one substituent, so okay, no problem. Okay, directly we call it, we start with that name and end with that suffix. But if there was many substituents, so in that case we should follow alphabetical order. Alphabetical order. Yes, according to this alphabetical order, if there was many substituents, the substituent which is coming first or earlier in the alphabetical order, that substituents we should mention first by following their number, position. Okay, thereafter next substituent, thereafter next substituent. Like that you should mention all the substituents in the order of their alphabetical series. After that root word and then the suffix. Okay, so this is according to alphabetical order. So to mention the substituents we are following alphabetical order. And after the alphabetical order, okay, next one, equivalent rule. Equivalent rule. So according to the equivalent rule, suppose equivalent positions means the pair of positions whose sum value is same in from both the directions. That pair of positions we call it as what? Equivalent positions. Suppose at equivalent positions if there was a different groups. For example, I am giving an example here. See this one and this one. See this is one substituent, this is the another substituent. Check the numbering from left to right, third and fifth. 3 plus 5, 8. Right to left, 3 plus 5, 8. So that pair of positions we call it as what? Equivalent positions. So here according to the lowest sum rule we cannot differentiate. In case if the lowest number rule was failed to identify the correct numbering, then in that case what we should follow? We should follow alphabetical order. By following the alphabetical order, methyl, ethyl, which group will first come? Ethyl, according to alphabetical series. So this group containing carbon should get the lowest value. So that means you should start giving the numbering from right to left. Suppose if even here also methyl group is there was no other option, you can give the numbering from any direction, no problem. So this is what equivalent rule. And one more rule, suppose if the substituents present on the parent chain is again branch. The substituent that was present on the parent chain is again branch substituent. In that case, how to write? First of all, you should name the branch substituent. How to name? For example, here I am giving an example. So like this. Okay, total how many substituents are? 1, 2, 3 substituents are there. Okay, methyl, okay, fine. But this is what? Branch substituent. In case of presence of branch substituent, first we should write the name of that branch. What is the name of the branch? And while you are writing the name of this branch, you should start giving the numbering from the carbon where it is attached. So the carbon which is attached directly to the parent chain, you should consider them as a first carbon and continue the numbering towards longest chain. So this is the longest chain 1, 2 and it is again having 2 substituents. So the name of this one is 1, 1 dimethyl, 1, 1 dimethyl, and what is the parent chain, what is the root word here? 2 carbons. So ethyl, 1, 1 dimethyl ethyl. Okay, that is the name, and we should keep these substituents within the bracket, within the parenthesis, and mention the position. What is the position here? Numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. So definitely we should give the numbering from this side. So 4, and third position and seventh position. So 3, 7. 3, 7. Dimethyl octane. So that is the name of this compound. Okay. So this is about the fifth rule. So these are the rules we should follow while you are naming in branch chain hydrocarbons. In case third category, if we go to the third category, functional group containing compounds. In case of functional group containing compounds, there are small modifications. In case of functional group containing compounds, you should consider the chain, the functional group containing chain having large number of carbons as a parent chain. Once again, the functional group containing chain having large number of carbons should consider as a parent chain. That means you should include the functional group within the parent chain. Okay, so that is a one modification. And the second modification, irrespective of the lowest number rule, you should always start giving the numbering from the nearest side of the functional group. Suppose the functional group is nearer to left side, you should start giving the numbering from left side only. If the functional group is nearer to right side, you should start giving the numbering from right side only. So these are the two modifications. Remaining all the rules as it is. Okay, so one modification is what? Modification number 1. So should the parent chain, the chain having functional group containing large number of carbons should consider as a parent chain, and the numbering should be nearest side of functional group. So this is about the second category. In case of polyfunctional groups, polyfunctional means many functional groups are present. Okay, out of the many functional group, the functional group which is coming first in the priority order should consider as what? Principal functional group. Remaining all functional groups you should consider as subordinates. If they are subordinate functional groups, you should consider them as what? Substituents only. So what is the priority order? You should be aware of this priority order. Among all, COOH is having the highest priority. After that, sulfonic acid SO3H. Next one, esters. Next, acid halides. Next, amides. Next, cyanides. Next one, aldehydes. Next one, ketones. After ketones, alcohols, amines, alkenes, alkynes. So this is the priority order. COOH group is the highest priority. Next, sulfonic acids, esters, acid halides, amides. Okay, then nitriles, aldehydes, ketones. Among the aldehydes and ketones, aldehydes are more priority. And among the OH and NH2, OH is getting first priority. And alkenes, alkenes are more priority. So here one point you should remember. Suppose if double bond and triple bond both are present. Okay, here the students, most of the students are getting confused. In case of presence of double bond and triple bond, to which function group we should give the first priority? So it depends upon the condition, situation. For example, I am giving the example like this idea. So in this case, double bond and triple bond both are terminal. In case if double bond and triple bond both are terminal, no doubt you should start giving the numbering from double bond onwards. Why? Because double bond is the first priority. So you should start giving the numbering from double bond onwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When the double bond and triple bond both are terminals. Suppose if they both are not terminals, like this you check. If they here are they both are terminals? No. See, one is terminal, okay, but other one is not a terminal. If they both are not terminal, then you follow number rule, lowest number. If we give the numbering from left to right, after second carbon and after fourth carbon, 2 plus 4, 6. If we give the numbering from right to left, after first carbon and after third carbon, 1 plus 3, 5, which is the least, 1 plus 3, 4, which is the least, 4 is the least. So in this case, you should start giving the numbering from right to left. Understood? I think you get clear. If the both double bond and triple bond are terminals, follow priority rule, start giving numbering from double bond onwards. If they both are not terminal, then follow lowest number. So this is about the functional group containing compounds. If there was a many functional groups, the functional group which is coming first in the priority order considered as what? Principal functional group. Remaining all you consider as what? Subordinates. For if they are acting as subordinates, use their prefixes, and if they are principal, use their suffixes. Yes, what are the prefixes and suffixes? Let us see. Here I am writing prefix names and suffix names. So prefix. So prefix names we should use when that function group acting as what? Subordinate. So what is there was no doubt the COOH will act as a subordinate. Why? Because this is only the first priority group. Okay, but in the rare cases, in case of many COOH groups, in that case they make chances. That is why. So if it is acting as a COOH prefix, then what is the name? Carboxy. Carboxy. And the suffix name is what? You know that. The suffix name of carboxylic acids? Oic acid. Oic acid. And sulfonic acid. Sulfonyl. Sulfonyl. And this is what? Sulfonic acid. Sulfonic acid. Next, this is what? Alkoxycarbonyl. Alkoxycarbonyl. Esters is alkoxycarbonyl, and this is what? O8. Ester suffix is O8. Next, carbamoyl. Halocarbonyl. Carbamoyl. Okay. Next one, this is what? Halide. OYL halide. Carbonyl halide. And this is what? Aminocarbonyl. Aminocarbonyl. So this carbamoyl also we call it as halocarbonyl. And this is simply amide. And next one, this is cyano. And this is nitrile. And this is formyl. And this is Al, and this is, we can use formyl or oxo, we can use any one of these two. And this is what? One. This is hydroxy. Alcohols act as a prefixes, then what is the name? Hydroxy. And suffix is OL. And this is amino. Amino is the prefix name, and suffix is amino. And there was no prefixes for this, and suffixes is in and ein. So this is about the prefix and suffix names. Okay, and the next category, just small, polyfunctional groups. Polyfunctional groups means, I am just giving an example so that you have an idea. CC, COOH, COOH, COOH. And one more example, COOH, okay. So what is the difference between these two compounds? So if you see the difference, see that COOH, 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 and this is the carbon chain. So that means the three functional groups, the three COOH groups directly attached to the carbon skeleton, parent chain. So in case if the functional groups directly attached to the parent chain, then how can we can write tricarboxylic acids. Okay, 1, 2, 3 propan tricarboxylic acid. Okay, you can use the suffix as tricarboxylic acid when the three COOH groups directly attached to the parent chain. Here in this case, this is the parent chain. See, two COOH directly attached, but this is not directly attached. CCOH. So if it is not directly attached, in that case, how can you write? So in that case, you consider this is what? Parent chain, and this is a substituent. So what is the name of this one? This is what? Carboxymethyl. Okay, at 1 to 3rd position. So 3 carboxymethyl 1 2 3 4 5. So pentane, pent 1 comma 5, pent dioic acid. So understood the difference? If if all they are attached directly to the parent chain, you consider this is only the parent chain remaining as tricarboxylic acid. If at least one of them is not directly attached, then you consider this whole thing as a parent chain and this one as what? Substituent. So this is the difference between these compounds from the others. Okay.